Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. All praise unto Yahweh Shai, Bashimu Kakadash. Double honors unto the apostles of Great Millstone, and honor to you brothers that be pushing this truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. So this here is going to be a relatively quick video going into the impact of this planned pandemic and pretty much these elite banking families, as we've said for the longest, they're looking to set up their so-called new world order, man. And when you check out the different plans that they have, a major plan that they have, the major proponent for this so-called new world order is having it to where everybody is chipped. And in order to chip everybody, you need a reason to chip everybody. Whether it's going to be a situation where it's highly likely, in fact, I'm pretty sure that they're going to use the crushing of the economy as a means to push these people into toward the chip. So there's persistent talk about this universal basic income. There's also you got it to where the vast majority of the people within the world right now are on government checks. All right, they're getting money from the government paid into their so-called employer, so that the employer doesn't fire them or whatever. So at a minute right now, people are got money in their pocket, but what not a lot of people are going to realize is that in order for you to get some money into your pocket, what has to happen is that the government has to, whatever government you're in, has to pretty much print more money. And that's what's happening out there within these different countries. You got a situation where these different countries are paying off these corporations to pay their staff, and that's going to be the largest example of quantitative easing, which is going to lead to the greatest economic crash that's ever been witnessed within the world. Now, what people was thinking, or what the so-called people of this world was hoping for, was a situation where the economy was going to bounce back. That's what your politicians had you believe. But it's psychology. When you start to read psychology and understand the intentions of people, behavioral tendencies, especially behavioral tendencies after an extended period of time, you know that after a while, habits begin to form. So after a certain dispensation of time, people got used to not buying stuff. People got used to a simple life. In fact, a lot of people that were in work now realize they don't need as much money as they thought they needed. A lot of these women ain't gonna go back to the jobs because they realize the stress of these different jobs that they've been to is really negatively impacting them. And a lot of people realize, and I know this for a fact because I've spoken to a whole bunch of people on the same topic. A lot of people came to the conclusion that the life that they was living before of working, 50 odd hours, and you might be getting 100K for it, but ultimately people have come to the conclusion that it ain't worth it. All right, a lot of people have come to the conclusion that it's not worth the hassle. So why go back to work? And consequently, why spend all of that money when really all you need is a simple life? And that's what people have been living for the last 3 months. People have been forced to live a simpler life. Now, the first month might have been difficult. All right, there was a lot of domestic violence that happened within the first month. There's a lot of people that was, stressing out or whatever. But after the so-called easing, the partial easing that you've experienced throughout the four corners of the earth, where you're allowed to go to the parks and this, that, and the third, people have become comfortable. They become relaxed, if you will. They become acquainted with this new life of not doing too much, not spending too much, and finding a way to have a so-called good time and not spending a whole bunch of money on doing so. Now, why do I say all of that? I say all of that to say this. I've been in the so-called the so-called shopping malls, and nobody's buying anything, man. Right? The vast majority of these stores is empty. They ain't making no money. And why are they making no money? Because people have realized they don't need all of that to to be so-called content. I use the word content as opposed to happy, because really these people are, not too far from killing themselves constantly. That's why they be posting them, so their posts on social media, and it looks like they're crying out for help, man. But not a whole bunch of people is buying anything. So imagine that after 3 months of no commerce, and after the commerce is so called allowed to happen, then nobody's buying. What's that going to lead to? That's going to lead to a lot of these stores closing up. So this is an article here. It shows you the impact of this pandemic on the economy, and as you can see, there was a massive dive down for an extended period of time. But again, it ain't just gonna go away. It's not gonna happen. You're not gonna have a situation where all of a sudden the economy is gonna bounce back or something like that. It's pretty much done, man. This is it. Okay, this is the plans of the elites, and these elites have destroyed most of these economies now. And over the next couple of months, you're going to see inflation, deflation, and all of these different things that lead up onto an economic crash, and end of currencies. So let me just get this one precept within, or maybe a couple of precepts, in the book of Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter and the 3rd verse. And it says, "In that day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders shall cease, because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened." So effectively here, the grinding is ceasing, man. The factory work, the middle classes have just been gutted. You can forget about the so-called good times, because the good times is over, man. They're gonna open up these bars and this, that, and the third. But a lot of people ain't gonna be drinking for happiness. They're gonna be drinking for sorrow of the heart. Let's get another one. Let's get the most important scripture. We always get this scripture, the book of Revelations, the 13th chapter and the 16th verse. And says, "He causeth all, both small and great, to receive a mark within their both small and great." Let's read that properly. Small and great, rich and poor, and free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, that no man might buy or sell save that he have the mark of the beast or the number of his name. And that's the ultimate end all be all for these elite banking families. That's what they're trying to lead you toward, man. They're trying to get you acclimatized to the government, paying your rent. They're trying to get you comfortable with the idea of not working or working from home. They're getting you accustomed to a different life, but it's all gonna culminate with the chipping of everybody, man, to where you're not going to be able to go out there, because the economies are going to be crashed. Then they're going to say, look, we tried the economy, your way. We're going to do it now a different way, and that's going to be the mass chipping of a whole bunch of people, man. So that's pretty much it. With that, I'm gonna say all praise unto Yahweh Bashim Al Shai Bashim Kadash. Double honors unto the apostles of Great Millstone, and honor your brothers that be pushing this truth in sincerity. Shalom.